So a lot of people have asked me to do some sort of a quick briefing on how to connect to SharePoint. A lot of what I'm hearing is that SharePoint is not a good collaborative environment. And there are a couple of reasons for that. Is because back in the original Office, which was in Office 2016, SharePoint was only accessible via means of going through the web, and so it's not very or particularly a good user-friendly environment. But if you set up your computer correctly, you've got Office 365 and Windows 10, SharePoint is actually really simple. So when you guys go to SharePoint, you may be seeing it on the web, but when I go to SharePoint, I just have a folder on my desktop where I just open it up, and inside that folder is basically the same thing that you're seeing on a website. And so when I access a file, if I want to go look at the Quality Assurance Management Plan, it just shows up right here. So I don't have to go through the web, no portals. So in essence, from a working and collaborative environment, this is actually really simple. It's a lot like a network drive with a little bit of additional support to it. So how do you do that? How do you get this from the website to your desktop? That's basically what I'm going to show you. It's a relatively simple process, but some people are a little bit overwhelmed with it at first. So I'll walk you through it. If you are struggling with a portion of this, you can always contact me directly. Again, my name is Matt Summerad. I'm with Braun Intertech, Quality Assurance Project Manager for the Southwest Light Rail. So here we go. It's real simple. Starting off at the top, you need to have a connection to the SharePoint. And so at this point, if you haven't made the connection between your computer and SharePoint at any time, if you haven't clicked on the email that I sent you when I connected you to SharePoint, go ahead and do that. And essentially what will happen is you'll get a screen that looks something along the lines of this right here. Boom. All right. So, all of a sudden, this is that challenging environment that nobody really wants to deal with. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to open this window. And this entire folder structure, this base window is what you're going to want to look at. There's a button right here at the top that says Sync. Okay, and when you hit Sync, you can go ahead and click Sync Now. And it's going to ask you if you want to open up OneDrive, and you're going to go ahead and say yes. And then, so you'll get a couple of other prompts that will allow you to say yes, 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 and so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden you'll see files uploading or something like refreshing data or something to that effect, where essentially what your computer is doing is downloading the file structure from the web and putting it onto your desktop. Once that is done and the sync is complete, you should be able to go ahead and go into your computer and type this PC right here. And when you have this PC, your hard drives and all the other stuff that you normally do will open up, and you'll be able to look on the left column right here, and you'll see a Braun Intertech Corp. And for you, it will just be final draft reports. Now from here, pretty straightforward. I just go ahead and I hold down Alt and I drag to my desktop. And what that will do is we'll create a shortcut, so you never have to come back to this window again. All of a sudden, you've got a network drive for the project right on your desktop. And so you can open it up, take a look at whatever thing you want to look at, whether it be I want to get to the plans and specifications, I want to take a look at what a steel audit looks like. Anything to that effect will be accessible through here. Now what you're going to see is an additional column that's been added right here through the status window. Basically what this says is if it's a little blue cloud like this, it hasn't been downloaded to your computer, but it's on the cloud, so it's up on the SharePoint site. However, like if I were to go into a regular document, see the Quality Assurance Management Plan, this was something I was working on yesterday. See this green check? That means that it's been downloaded to my device, and I have on my device the most recent version. And so let's say, for example, I want to take a look at the draft that we submitted yesterday. It's in the cloud. I'll just go ahead and double click on it like a normal file or an app or whatever, and it will pull up the actual plan itself that I was working on. Now, what you'll see is that it was in the cloud before, and now it's a green check, which means that I'm operating on it. Now, if somebody else, the difference between this and like a typical like a network drive is that I can be working on a document, and somebody else can come into that document while I'm working on it and work on it with me. So it's like it's a true collaborative environment. The other thing that's interesting is that if I save it here, it pushes that save back up to the cloud so that the cloud has always got the most recent version. So it does a really good job at making sure that, like, if the most recent file is obvious, that everybody can go in and work on it, everybody can go in and review it, and make sure that everybody at any point in time has access to it. There's one more caveat I want to explain real quick. If I'm working in a folder like this, and this was my submission yesterday, and today I want to start working on it, one thing that I do personally that's just good file management is that I'll go ahead and I'll hold down the control button, I'll drag on that file, so that draft, and I'll go ahead and I'll make a copy of it, right? So I have a copy of that file, and then I'll just go ahead and rename that file because, you know, today is now the 7th, it's no longer the 6th, so I'll go 02.07.2019. I'll just call this trial, you know, so that, and then all of a sudden this will update. You see this little circle right here, it's updating the file, putting the file up on SharePoint, and then now it's on SharePoint, the green checkbox is there, so I can go ahead and open this, and now I've created a file history for myself, right? So if something happens to this document that I really don't like, an edit or a change or something of that matter, I can go ahead and just fix it. I think that's really about it. You know, I can go ahead and if you're having problems coordinating this on your computer, let me know. But, you know, quite honestly, we're going to be using SharePoint quite a bit for this project because of the amount of partners that we have, the need for being able to access large amounts of information. I know a lot of people don't like going to the web. It's just arduous and painful. But, you know, in this latest revision of Microsoft, which would be Microsoft Office 365 and Windows 10, Microsoft heard the cries of everybody complaining about going on the web. So this was the solution. I think it works really well. Again, if you have any questions, give me a call. Look forward to seeing you guys on the project. Thank you.